you know the value of a customer in your self-storage facility or in a self-storage facility you're looking at purchasing? Hello, my name's Mark Helm, and I'm the author of Creating Wealth Through Self-Storage, and I'm the creator of the Self-Storage Quick Start Academy. And I support small investors who want to get in the self-storage business or who want to grow their self-storage business, strategically do so in a way that creates true wealth and a fulfilling career. And I'm just amazed at the number of business owners and the number of self-storage owners that have little or no financial knowledge. Now look, I am by no means an expert. And I know there's many of you out there that'll be reading this or watching this that know a lot more about accounting and financial analysis than I do. But there are a lot of us out there who have little or no knowledge. Now, I'm someone who learned the hard way. I have no training in accounting, no training in numbers, but I learned real quick, and I learned through mistakes, that if I'm not on top of the numbers of my business, then my business is on top of me. Look, I don't see how you can run a business if you don't know your numbers. The numbers are literally the dials and the levers. The numbers tell a story. Those stories are which you can turn and change and alter. Without knowing your numbers, I just don't see how you make good decisions on what to do. And again, I've learned the hard way. For example, I've learned, running Yellow Pages. Last year I ran Yellow Pages. It cost me over $3,000 per lease that Yellow Page brought in, and the value of a customer to me back then was only $2,200. But I had no idea. Every time I signed one of those leases, I was losing money. So it's important to be on top of the numbers in the business that you're contemplating getting in the facility you're contemplating getting in, or in the facility that you own. So I thought I'd do a series on just some of the basics of some numbers that I think are critical to look at when you're running or thinking of getting in a self-storage business. Now, like I said, there's a lot of people that know way more than me. And if your accountant or financial advisor tells you to do something that's not what I'm telling you to do, go with them. They probably know more than I do. But we're going to start simple, and then we're going to work our way into balance sheets and P&Ls. But one of the first things that I think every self-storage owner should know, every business owner should know, is what is the value of a customer to you? How much is each customer worth to you? Why? Because when you have that knowledge, you can make accurate and smart decisions on how to spend your marketing dollars. So for example, I was going to do a Facebook ad campaign, and in a later series we'll talk more about Facebook and online advertising, but I needed to know how much I could spend per customer to get that customer in the door. So the very first piece of knowledge I needed was, what is the value of a customer in that particular facility? So if you want to know the value of a customer in your facility, or the value of a customer in a facility you're looking at buying, the very first piece of information you need to know is, what is the average length of stay of a customer in that facility? Now, depending on what software is being used, the reports will be different. In fact, we use SiteLink, and once we switched to SiteLink, it actually took me a while to find the report that had it. But in this particular facility, this is what I saw. We found the report that had the average length of stay for the customers, and this is what I saw. Now, this report gives a lot of good information, like which months have the most move-ins. But what I was looking at, look at the average stay of all the tenants. On this report I could look at a month, I could look at a quarter, but for this report right now, let's take the last 12 months. So I totaled up all of the last 12 months and then average. That was from May to May. And what I got was the number 738. So in other words, that number's telling me that in the last 12 months, the average customer and I like customer better than tenant, stayed 738 days. Now, I actually recommend doing this monthly or at least quarterly, and we do, but for this example, I'm showing you how to start. So for the past year, the average customer stayed in that facility 738 days. Now, if you're in a project that doesn't have good software or has very antiquated software, I know this may be a hard number to find. Try to go through the leases if you can, and even if you have to estimate. But look at try to get the average length of stay for the average customer in your facility. Now, the next thing I needed to know was how many customers there were. Now, what I could have done is averaged the customers over the last 12 months, and that actually would have been more accurate, but I didn't do that. I went to the May of 2017, and I went to the close report for that month, and this is what I saw. What I saw was there was 909 customers. Yeah, it might have been a little different if I averaged over the last 12 months, but it wouldn't have been very much. So I went with the 909 customers. And then the last number I needed was, what is the rent those 909 customers are paying? Now, not the gross potential rent, not a theory number. What is the actual amount of money that we are scheduled to get from those 909 customers? And I can see on this report, it's effective rent after concessions. And it's actually $106,885 monthly. This is a large facility, largest facility we have. Now, what is this story telling me? So I have the numbers. I have 738 days for an average stay, I have 909 customers, and I have the $106,000 a month. So what is this telling me? Well, let's do the math and see the story that those numbers are telling us. So the math is, I took the amount of money the 909 customers will give me, and I divided it by 909. And that gives me an average monthly income per tenant. Now, some reports already have this, but I just wanted to go through the math to show you how to get it. I could have pulled up a report that told me that, but I wanted to show you how to get that number. And then next, I multiplied that monthly number times 12 to get a yearly number, and then I divided that by 352 to get a per day amount that each customer pays us in that facility. Now, that is a more accurate way than dividing the monthly number by 30 or 31. It's actually a more accurate way to get a proration. Take a yearly number and divide by the number of days in a year. And what I saw was that each customer, I have a daily amount of only $3.87. Now, this is an $8 million project, and the average customer is paying us $3.87 a day. It's amazing. I love this business. So I multiply that $3.87 times the average number of days a customer stays in our facility, and voila, you have, in this facility, the average customer is worth $2,852.97. Now, that's a good number. Now, we have some facilities where that number's higher. Most of our facilities, that number's a little lower. But that is the value of a customer in that facility. That's the story that the numbers are telling me. That's telling me each time a person signs a lease, our facility is going to get, on average, $2,852.97. Now, that's a good story. Now, but that's not the end of the story. So let's say we're doing a marketing campaign. Let's say my occupancy drops in this facility and I need to do some marketing. How much money can I spend to get a customer in there? Do I want to spend a quarter of the value of a customer? Those are the type of dials and levers that are created from the story, what's a customer worth? Let me give you a real practical example. We were in a lease-up situation, and I was at about 60 to 65% in a facility. Another facility came online in that sub-market, and our momentum of absorption of lease-up started dropping. So we decided to run a Facebook Facebook ads campaign. So I saw that it was a new facility, so I only had, about a year and a quarter of operation. And at that time, the average value of a customer was $1,157. Each customer that signed a lease in that facility up to that point, the average was $1,157. So I had a target number of $500 or less to get a customer in there. Now usually I don't go close to 50% or 40%, but in a lease-up situation we will, to get the traction and get the momentum. So I did a 3-week trial campaign where we ran some ads, and at that time what I did was a $25 discount coupon. And to keep it real simple, they just had to print that coupon out and bring it into the facility to get the discount. So we ran it for 3 weeks, and the ad cost me $265. Then at the end of the trial period, we counted up how many of those $25 coupons we had from people moving in. We had 5. So 5 times $25 off is another $125. So if you add the $265 and the $125, you get $390. So we had 5 new customers come in. The cost to get those 5 customers was $390. And what's the value of those 5 customers? $5,785. Now, would you spend $390 to make $5,785? I will do that 365 days a year. That's what the numbers are telling us. That's the profit we made off that advertising campaign. Now, there'll be more episodes about online advertising campaigns. And what's interesting is now that campaign doesn't work. Our competition's gotten more aggressive. The ad that we offered is no longer as appealing as it was, so I'm not getting the same return on that ad. So we're using different strategies. But I now know what I can spend to get a customer in here. When that ad no longer started working, I knew to cut it off. Why? Because I was going to go over my budget number per customer to get it in there. If I didn't know the value of a customer, I could very well spend $1,000 to get an $1,100 customer in the door. This is the first number I'm going to share with you that I think it's important for a self-storage owner to know. Now, in this short series, I want to alter. If you have a disempowering relationship to numbers and financials, I want to alter that relationship. Numbers are your friends. You don't have to be a wizard at numbers to know your numbers. Believe me, I'm not. I don't speak the language of accountants. When accountants get together, they talk a particular language. I don't speak accountant. I speak self-storage. But I can look at a P&L and a balance sheet now and get the story that comes from the numbers on those pages. And it's quite different than you might think. It's very different than I thought it was when I first started this business. We'll get more into that in the next few episodes. My intention is, by the end of these episodes, your relationship to numbers has changed and numbers are your friend. When you can look at numbers and get a story, and then from that story create activity that generates new numbers, your relationship to financial numbers has changed. And that's where we're going. Because once you can create new dials and new levers through numbers, you can turn them to create true wealth and a fulfilling career in the self-storage business. Thank you very much. My name's Mark Helm. I'm the author of Creating Wealth Through Self-Storage, and I'm the creator of the Storage World Analyzer. It is a fantastic financial analysis tool. Version 2 is a beautiful program, and I'm very proud of it. I use it every single day, and it's the most powerful tool in our self-storage arsenal of tools. We use it to analyze the cash flows of the projects that we're looking at buying or we're looking at building, and it gives us so much information. We know exactly what we can pay to fulfill on our business model. So if you want to explore it, Creating Wealth through selfstorage.com or thestorageworldanalyzer.com. I look forward to being with you again soon. Thank you.